Well, Toto, I wonder, if you can counter that. Why didn't you pit him?
Well, I think we have to buy a new tool for the garage, and this is a crystal ball, so we can look into it. I guess his only chance was in overtaking Nico was during the pit stops. And I guess once the safety car came out in our pit window, it was clear that the race was finished. And I guess in Monaco it's always tricky. You see a car coming off. Will you have a safety car or not? We've seen it at the end when I think it was Gutierrez spun off Adras Gas. We would have expected a safety car to come out, but it didn't. So you never know.
But Lewis was in a decent position there. I mean, it happened all in front of him. He would have seen there was quite a lot of debris on the track. So, if he made the call or if he'd asked to come in, would you not have accepted that?
No, because the call is being made by the car who is in front. That is the rule as to per which we operate. And so this was in the heat of the moment, in the intensity of the moment, a certain frustration which came out. It's completely normal.
Okay.
But I mean, it was always a possibility, isn't it, that Lewis could have just said, "I'm coming in the pits," and you would have changed his tyres, right? You would have given him a new set of tyres if he'd come on the radio and said, "Yeah."
No, it's not the way it happens with us. The driver doesn't make the call himself and decides when he comes in, he's been called in.
Have you had a word with Lewis since then? With his eye, he was just saying there, he got something in it. It didn't look particularly good.
Yeah, I didn't speak to him yet, but I think he caught something in his eye in the tunnel or so. He fished it out with his glove. I didn't see the pictures, but somebody told me, and it was okay at the end then.
What about the weekend? How has that been for you? You've had the difficulties of what happened yesterday. Great result for the team, but it must have been pretty stressful, isn't it?
Yeah, Monaco is always pretty exciting. You have lots of partners here and sponsors here, so apart from being on the track, lots of things to do. And then the battle is getting more intensive every weekend. They know they have a car which can deliver a world championship, and I guess this is how it's going to continue.
And how are you going to sort of control everything that's happened this weekend for the future?
The question is, how much do we want to control? I think we owe it to everybody to let them race. And letting them race means this is what the sport is all about, a certain degree of entertainment, a bit more degree of stress for the team.
Good to hear.
Toto, yeah, I was going to say, what do you do? Is there a process now? Okay, you've got one very disgruntled driver, and you can probably understand it from Lewis's perspective, and you've got Nico from the other side. It looked like they're not particularly speaking at the moment. A lot of people said that this was always going to happen. Are you going to sit them down as one of the team bosses and say, listen, guys, we need to thrash this out, or are you happy for it to maintain a sort of frosty relationship between the two?
They are very intelligent and very experienced drivers. You don't sit them down like pupils, because I don't feel like a head teacher. So what we are having is regular discussions, and we're having that every day in order trying to optimize. But then in the heat of the moment, you're always going to have one driver who is happy and the other one not happy. I can remember 14 days ago, the other blonde guy was very, very, how did you call it, disgruntled?
Yes.
And this is what we have to manage to a certain degree, let the emotions cool down. And on Monday, the sky is bright again.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, were you ever worried? You had the Red Bull was catching at the end. Are you still got one eye on Red Bull and a challenge later on in the season from them?
Yeah, it shows that you cannot rest and you cannot be complacent. It's an interesting new situation, because actually we let the two guys race each other, which as an effect had that the tire was coming towards the end of its life at the end of the race. You combine that with an incident like Lewis's eye losing 4 or 5 seconds, and here we go. You have Ricciardo suddenly being on our tail. He was doing mega lap times in the middle sector, and we have all reasons to continue to push and not to be complacent.
Thanks, Toto. Best of luck with your diplomatic skills this week. I'm sure you'll master that. Let's hear from Jules Bianchi, understandably delighted man, speaking with Natalie.